Hello, Jeannie. How are you?
I am doing so much better than what I was literally 7 days ago. So
Why? What were you doing 7 days ago?
I had the flu.
Oh.
Yeah.
Although that's better. I've heard that the stomach bug is going around and everyone is just double dragging it everywhere. So that's a lot better.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're doing well. Also, welcome to the Ladies Takeover Liberty Risk podcast.
Thank you.
I'm your host, Megan, and I have Jeannie.
Use my cup.
So that's okay. So, Jeannie, could you please introduce yourself for us, for the people that do not know of you?
Yes. So I am Jeannie Hackett. I'm actually active duty Air Force. I'm a mental health technician out at the Air Force Academy. And so I don't know, I've been in 16 and a half years. And one of the things that we're talking about tonight, so trigger warning, just so y'all know, we will be talking about some very sensitive topics tonight, specifically in regards to sexual assault, mental health, which I will be giving a lot of feedback about in regards to what kind of support you can get. And we'll just go from there.
Yeah, and we were actually supposed to have a really awesome guest on tonight. I mean, not that Jeannie's not awesome. Don't take that wrong. We were supposed to have Carolyn Martin on tonight, and she is one of the Miss Veteran America. I don't know if she is a contestant currently, or if she has won or was one of the winners. I don't know how the whole system works, because I don't think anybody, Jeannie, you can back me up on this. I don't think that we could ever be Miss Veteran America.
Hey, look, I will never set limitations on myself like that. So I take offense to what you just said.
Okay, well then, if you run for it, I'll run with you. How about that?
All right.
But anyway, so Carolyn was supposed to come on. She is in Texas, so she's still struggling with some of the power outages there and the issues that they're having with winter weather that they're not used to. Not like Jeannie and I, where Jeannie just got a foot of snow, and she's like,
I got 7 inches, giggity. Literally, we got a snow day today. So my town got 7 inches. The academy, I think, got 3. But it was bad enough that they called a snow day for all the installations out here in Colorado.
Wow, that's awesome. Here in New Jersey, it was almost 60 degrees today. It was beautiful out, hence why I'm wearing a tank top.
No, my heat is blast right now.
Oh, God. It was so nice today. I'm so ready for spring and for this weather to come in and just to get out of the house for once. And I don't know if people remember, but I will be moving to where Jeannie is very, very soon. So I'm doing a lot of travel between mine and Jeannie's house. And what was it? 2 weeks ago I was there?
Valentine's weekend. So roughly 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I ruined your Valentine's Day. So yeah.
Celebrate Valentine's. So it's fine.
Yeah, I was like,
to a trampoline park where there were a bunch of children. And it was really weird with teenagers telling us 30, well, you're not 30. No, you are in your 30s. So telling us 30-year-olds, when we were allowed to jump. And I was like,
yeah, it was kind of odd.
I haven't asked how high since basic training 16 years ago. So it was very awkward for everybody.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I tripped and face planted into a foam pit, and Jeannie laughed at me, the kids laughed at me, the teenager standing there was like, "This is why old people should not be allowed in here." And the
world laughed at you. He literally pointed and laughed at you. It was glorious.
I'm glad I could be comedic relief, because that's what I'm good for. I'm here for wine and comedic relief. there's somebody you can always count on to get drunk. It's me. um, so with this warmer weather, and you already did our little PSA for it, but with the warmer weather comes ladies showing a little bit more skin and probably an increase in sexual assault. So I was just reading an article the other day that the Secretary of Defense, Austin, I don't know his full name, but Secretary of Defense Austin is going to be checking out the protocols that are set in place for reporting sexual assault and then seeing what changes need to be made. And they're talking about taking it out of the chain of command and having another group of people do the whole sharp sapper process outside of the chain of command. That way it's not like your boss or your boss's boss or your commanding officer deeming what should happen to these perpetrators.
Yeah.
Which
Lloyd J. Austin, the new Secretary of Defense, the 28th Secretary of Defense, so completely, so he has proposed completely removing it from the immediate chain of command and having essentially either delegates or volunteers of essentially like people who come in as members of the jury to investigate and, well, I mean, not investigate because that'll still be, you know, OSI, NCIS, or whatever respective agencies it is. And then when it comes to the actual courts, it won't be the immediate supervisors or chain of command. It'll be folk that are outside of the chain of command that will volunteer for it or be delegated for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, a lot of the females that I worked with that had issues with sexual harassment and sexual assault, a lot of them were so scared to come forward with their cases and their gripes and their issues, just because a lot of the times it was this like good boys club and this brotherhood of guys that were like, and I was reading this as well, that the guys have a brotherhood. The females are not included in this brotherhood. So all the guys have this cool club of dudes where they can do no wrong. Like, they're perfectly fine. They just sweep everything that they do under the rug. And a lot of the girls I work with, they were so afraid of coming forward because of that. They were like, if I go to in the Navy, it would be your LPO or your chief, your E6 or your E7. If you went forward with them, half the time they were drinking buddies with those people that were causing issues. And it was such, like, nobody wanted to go forward. Nobody wanted to stand up for themselves and talk. Oh, Bentley.
That was.
And yeah. And it has to be so much worse in other instances. Like, I'm glad I wasn't like the only female in my command. Like, I was in a very male dominated area, but there's a lot of women that they don't come forward. They don't talk about stuff. They don't want to cause issues. They don't want to make waves. They're just like, let me do my job, go home, chill. And they don't want to make friends. They don't want to do anything. And it makes their career like super shitty. They're just like, I don't want to come to work. I don't want to do this. I'm just going to be harassed every single day. Or they go home and they get messages online like, hey girl, let me see them tits. Let me see that ass. Like, not what you want to hear from your superior. Yeah. So I'm really happy that the secretary is going to be pulling it out of the direct chain of command and putting it in the hands of somebody else that will be able to take that seriously and really take a look at how the chain of commands are handling sexual assault and harassment.
Yeah. So, kind of in line with what you're saying, but also from a different angle, a perspective of what you're saying. I definitely have seen it from the good old boys club of the it's just a bunch of dudes kind of getting together in regards to things. But I've also seen like girls that have like teamed up with some of the guys have been like, oh, that's my friend. That would never happen. But I've also seen it from like the female's perspective of like, hey, this is what has happened to me. And that good old boys club of, even though we know that's happened, like, we're going to say that never happened. But let's switch genders real quick. And I've seen it happen from that angle as well, where it was the active male member who was assaulted, and it was a superior female who did the assault, and his word was not valued. And he was more demoralized because they were like, dude, she's hot. Like, why are you even complaining about this? Like, what does it even matter? Like, if she came after me, I would be totally okay with it. And completely disregarding the fact that this was something that was totally unsolicited, that was against his will, that he did not want in the first place. And bottom line, he was raped. And the courts ultimately sided against him and said, hey, Tom Play's situation, you could have said no, but you didn't. And even though he was like, she was my superior, I felt pressured. I felt there would have been retaliation had I said no. I mean, you see what I'm saying there? Like, there's so that we're still wrong in that event. And really the point that I'm getting at is that when it comes to consent, and when it comes to, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, it doesn't matter if you're trans, it doesn't matter like who you are. What matters is you are a human being, and if you are not okay with the situation, and if you say no, the bottom line is no. If you have alcohol in your system and you're like, hey, I'm not comfortable, let's not proceed with this. And even if like somebody pressures you and you end up going with it because you feel like you don't have another choice, and after the fact, you're like, hey, I went with this because I didn't feel safe and I thought they might hurt me, or I felt like my career would be in danger, or I felt like something bad might happen if I said no. And I decided afterwards that, hey, I need to do something about this, that you should feel okay with coming forward about it. That no matter what, you should be able to be okay with saying, this was not right, and this is the reason that it was not right, and this is why I'm coming forward.
Yeah. I did a a research paper a couple semesters ago for college, and I'm a criminal justice student right now. Last semester, thank God I'm graduating soon. And I've read a couple books, and I read a ton of scholarly articles on sexual assault in the military. And one of the things that I was reading, and let me just put this out there, there is a ton of actually, there is a menial amount of information about sexual assault in the military. Like, it was disgusting how little there was. It took me days to find articles. I only found one article that addressed men being sexually assaulted. One article. And I had 6 articles.
How many articles did you find in college communities versus military communities, if you look that up?
Oh, if you look that up in college communities, it's a plethora. Like, there's a ton of them. If you look up in the military community, it's because people in the military don't want to talk about it. They don't want to come forward. And what really shocked me about, ooh, Jeannie, ooh. What really shocked me about the studies that I was reading about is that there was an equal amount of men being sexually assaulted as there was women being sexually assaulted. The only thing was that men never came forward about it because they felt ostracized, they felt embarrassed by it, they felt demasculinated. I think that's the word about it. Yeah. So they had all these feelings about it, and they were like, I can't come forward because I feel like I'm going to be attacked. Yeah, they would be. Like, that's just the culture, and it's definitely something that needs to change, that men need to be able to come forward. But people in general need to be able to come forward and talk about it and be like, hey, this happened. It was not okay. I don't approve. Naughty, naughty. And there's such a wall against doing that, and hopefully pulling it out of having the direct chain of command work on it. Like, kudos to them. I'm so happy that it's moving forward with something. I know the Vanessa Guillen law still hasn't been passed, and that was one of the things that they were addressing. I know, fingers crossed. I think it's still in Congress right now. They just haven't approved it. And it's like almost everyone, it's like unanimous. Like, everyone is like, yeah, go for it. And I don't know what the holdup is on it. I have to look that up. But
well, for those that are not familiar with the Vanessa Guillen law, so the Vanessa Guillen law is not just about sexual harassment. It addresses any active duty service member who has experienced some sort of violence in the workplace and has brought it to their supervision or their superiors or their command, whatever. And it requires them to address it in some sort of level. And it involves permanent documentation of this so that if anything ever happens again with the accused, they can have some sort of track record with it. In addition to that, when it comes to service members who have gone missing for a period of time, they don't automatically determine them as AWOL. And for those listeners that are not familiar with the term of AWOL, that's absent without leave. And when you're absent without leave in the military system, you are not, you don't qualify for any sort of entitlements, benefits, anything along those lines. And you're actually subject to UCMJ, so Uniform Code of Military Justice Action. And you can essentially, like, if you're found, you can be punished for that, no matter what the reason is. So let's say, for example, you have you've been experiencing harassment from your superior for an extended period of time, and this harassment involves some sort of sexual assault or physical assault. And you have addressed it with those above them, they disregarded it, and you feel so unsafe that you have no other option but to disappear for extended period of time. And because of that, your command has said, hey, you've disappeared. You have completely stepped away from your obligation of your enlisted contract, or your with officers, it's a don't
even ask me. I have no idea.
Well, I know what it's called. It's on the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me. But anyhow, so with their oath of not oath of enlistment with that, but with their oh gosh, it'll come to me. But anyhow, so when it comes to that, so if you disappear with that, they can consider you absent without leave, and you can be subject to punishment with that. So no matter what the reasoning is behind that, because of the UCMJ, it doesn't matter. So kind of circling back with the Vanessa Guillen Act, you would be more protected. More investigators would be involved. Congress would have a bigger picture of what's going on, and you would have a better chance of being able to like address your accuser, or like your leadership addressing your accuser, and you would be more protected when it comes to situations like this. You could PCS if you want to, you could separate if you want to, and the accused, should they be proven guilty of the situation, there would be harsher punishment with most likely separation on other than honorable conditions or dishonorable, depending on how significant it was. There
it is.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for pulling that up, Billy. I can't really see it, but y'all can check that out as well. They would be other than honorably discharged or dishonorably discharged, depending on the egregiousness of the conviction.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a ton of women in the past who have gone AWOL, and even men in the past that have gone AWOL based on sexual misconduct, and they never got their grievances told and are suffering now because of it, whether it's mental health issues that they have, whether it's financial issues, because disability is great. If you haven't filed your disability, go file your disability. This is your PSA right now. I'm yelling at everyone listening that hasn't filed disability. You better go fucking do it. But financially, like, they're probably suffering as well. And this act, I don't know if it's going to be retroactive and help them out, like help out past people. It would be super awesome if it did. But they definitely need to like get on that and start that ball rolling again.
Wholeheartedly agree. However, in the meantime, there are absolutely resources. My voice is getting worse. I expected this. There are absolutely resources that members, both male and female, can reach out to in the meantime. There is such thing as and this is DoD-wide, for GS employees and active duty reserve and guard, restricted and unrestricted reports. So if you don't know the difference, your restricted report is when you go to your SAPR or your sexual assault response coordinator, just your sexual response person in general, you can say, hey, this has happened to me and I don't want anybody else to know about this. This is who did this to me. Please look into it, and they will investigate. Now, understanding that if something comes of it, that there probably won't be much legal action that comes of it, because if it was, then they would have to report to command, which would make it an unrestricted report. However, they can still work with you in regards to any sort of support services, therapy that you might need, so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to unrestricted reports, that means that your investigative agencies are going to be involved. Command is going to know. There will be a full investigation, and your accuser will be brought up on charges should they find any evidence to be able to bring them up on charges. And you will be offered any sort of opportunities to be able to do a expedited transfer, which means you can essentially choose any base that you would like to go to, that you feel that would provide you the best sort of support in order to get away from the accused. So there are definitely resources out there for you and benefits for you being a victim of sexual assault.
Yeah. Yeah. And the process for that is very quick. So if you go to your chain of command and you have an unrestricted report, you literally just go up to your, for Navy Command Master Chief, so your E9, or you can go up to your commanding officer, and all you have to say is, I want to be expedited transfer to a different command. I want this done as soon as possible. And that day, they have to submit you for it, and within a week, you have to be like choosing your new orders. And
be the case with the Navy. It might be different with the other branches, though.
That is true.
Okay,
that is true.
So, like with the Air Force, so with my understanding with the Air Force, it could take a couple of months because it has to be an unrestricted report with the Air Force, and there has to be evidence that it did occur in order for the expedited transfer to occur.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know anyone that has gotten an expedited transfer, so I can only speak from experience. But that information and the fact that the person is transferred so quickly to their new command, it shows it's not shown up on their command career counselors. I don't know what they call them in the Air Force. It doesn't show up because you know how they have all those billets and they tell you hey, these are all the people that are coming in. And then all of a sudden you have a random person that just shows up to your command and they're like, I'm checking in. And a lot of times it's a huge red flag. So that might be something they want to address and be like, hey, this is something that needs to be taken care of. And a lot of times I think they transfer them only to shore commands. So we have sea rotation and we have shore rotation in the Navy. I don't know if there's something similar in the Air Force where it's you're only in home on U.S. soil and then you do time away.
Air Force, yes, it is only U.S. installations to include Hawaii and Alaska. So typically not overseas because oftentimes when it comes to traumatic situations and mental health in general, when there is some level of in-depth mental health treatment, that requires long-term mental health care, it's CONUS only, or if it is overseas, it's at the approval of the gaining Surgeon General, so long as there is a large military medical installation that can support that sort of care. Oftentimes, those are denied overseas.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, but Alaska, Hawaii, not so much. It's just
I feel like those are hard to get into as well. A Hawaii is really hard Navy-wide to get into.
Yeah. So my former troop actually, so his Palace Chase was approved. And it just happened to be that mental health opened up I think he said 6 or 8 slots for Hawaii. So hey, if anyone's listening and you're in and you want a Palace Chase, Hawaii is open and 7 more slots are available. So go for it.
Hey.
Yeah. So there are stipulations. So just kind of caveat to that. When it comes to, hey, mental health is going to affect your career, what I try to tell folk is yes, mental health can affect your career, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to negatively affect your career. So it just depends on the job that you're going for or what the requirements of the mission are for what you're going for. So February 12th, which was just last week or something, February 12th, 3 years ago, I was hit head on by a drunk driver. I have sustained permanent nerve damage. I have significant skeletal muscular issues that I will deal with literally for the rest of my life. About 8 months. Let me rewind. So February 12th of 18, I was hit. 4 months after that, I received orders to Kunsan, Korea.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was supposed to be there in March of 19. However, I fell down my steps again, like right there a few months after that. And I was like, no, it gave out on me again. I was back in the ER. I was like, I can't perform the mission. Like I would be doing the Air Force a disservice by lying about this and saying, oh yeah, I'm totally good to go, knowing that I could not carry 75 pounds on my back if I wanted to, or if I could, like, it's just not going to fucking happen. So I went to my computer and I was like, hey, this is my issue. I'm being completely honest here. So side note to that, I was like, oh God, like, I love my job. I love what I do. I've been doing this for so long. This was completely out of my control. I can no longer do CrossFit. I can no longer do the long distance cycling that I used to do. I can no longer run like I used to. Like literally the night of my wreck, I PR'd my deadlift at 315. Like,
wow.
Like I can't do that anymore, you know? So I ended up in mental health myself. As an NCOIC of mental health, I ended up in mental health myself. So like what I'm saying is, yes, mental health can affect your career, but it doesn't ruin your career. It just can limit some of the things you can do, but that doesn't mean that things are over. So when it comes to the sexual assault stuff, yes, you may be limited to CONUS stuff. It is exceptional in regards to the OCONUS things, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible. So please reach out. Please get the help that you need. Please take care of yourself because nobody is going to look after you more than what you are going to look after you.
Aww, Jeannie, I love that. Yeah, if you are feeling like you need somebody to talk to, obviously if you can't turn to your friends and family, like please go to mental health. Please seek help from somebody. At the bottom of the screen, we do have our Veterans Crisis line down there, 1-800-273-8255. But you can always go to mental health. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, if I go to mental health, I'll be taken off of this status. I won't be able to do this. And I do know when I was at my command, so I was aviation side and I was expeditionary. So we had to be up and we had to go. If we got the call to go, we had to go. Like then and there. Like there was no questions asked. Like pack your bags, you leave in 15 hours kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
It like if you are taking certain medications, our flight status is what we called it. Yeah. Our flight status would be revoked and it would be changed. Granted, it was not detrimental to your career. You just won't do whatever cycle it is that you're going through. You won't do whatever workup that what the rest of the group is doing.
For that cycle.
Huh?
It's only for that cycle because Air Force has this thing. And it's typically a 30 to 45 day cycle, just depending on the restriction of the medication, because they just need to know the side effects. That's it.
Yes. Yes. And if you need mental health, your well-being is more important than the mission at that point. Like, I'm sorry. Whoever's listening that is like, mission is most important. No, fuck you. That person that the military just paid millions of dollars to train and send to boot camp, I'm sorry, but they are worth more than that mission. Like, you can fuck off saying that, oh, the mission is the most important thing. No, the people doing the mission are the most important thing. And if you have somebody there that is being sexually harassed, sexually assaulted, and they are uncomfortable and they need mental health and they need assistance, I'm sorry, they are more important than that mission. Fucking cancel that mission. Fuck that mission. Like, somebody else can go do that shit. Exactly. That person and handling that issue is the most important aspect at that point.
And let me tell you, if you're worried about your top secret, don't be. Do not be. It literally takes you killing somebody, seeing and hearing things that other people do not see and hear, getting to a point to where your debt and your gambling problem has become more of a national security issue than anything.
You got to gamble a lot for it to be.
Or like you have been like literally found guilty of selling national security secrets to Russia or something for you.
Or prostitution. That's another one.
Yeah, prostitution is an issue. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Those are like the only things, with some other things that I can't name right now because I don't know of them, that can cause you to lose your TS. Mental health treatment in and of itself does not cause you to lose your TS. It doesn't. Yeah. Because all they're concerned about is whether or not you're able to get better. If you're not able to get better, well, then that's very unfortunate. It breaks my heart. It breaks your command's heart. It breaks everybody's heart. And unfortunately, that does not meet the needs of the military. And that means, hey, we're still going to take care of you and we're going to give you a medical retirement because that's what you deserve at this point. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, if you can make progress with your treatment and you can get better, you're still going to keep your TS and you're still going to do well and you're still going to progress in your career. I can guarantee you that at almost 17 years as a mental health technician, it will happen.
So somebody mentioned this to me, and I wonder if this falls under the no-nos of TS. Having an OnlyFans. Like, if you have an OnlyFans, do you keep your TS? Like,
I can address that.
Really?
I can address that from a certain perspective. Okay, so let me get closer.
Give it to me.
All right. Bottom line, you are a service member and your responsibility is to present yourself in a positive manner that reflects what service that you represent. So if you're doing porn on your OnlyFans, that reflects negatively against your service. So I'm sorry, that is not okay. Now,
yeah,
if you have an OnlyFans where you're doing a cooking show, fucking more power to you. You're solid. You don't got to worry about anything. If you have an OnlyFans where you're teaching folk how to shave your dog properly or your pets properly because you're too concerned about catching COVID when interacting with folks at the groomers, you're solid. If you're selling feet pics,
I think that's okay.
Innocent, it's still a sexual fetish. And it's representing your service in a negative manner. Now,
is that considered bad?
Now, when I say it's representing your service in a negative manner, there still has to be evidence that goes back to you that connects you to your service.
So if it's only pictures of your feet and they don't see your face, they can't really connect you.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I did not say that. If there is anything that connects your account to you serving in whatever service that you're at, that's not okay. You cannot do that. That's unacceptable. You are a representative on or off duty 24/7 as a service member, period.
I feel like that's such a gray area too. Because it's not like that's Ryan is my photographer.
My fiance
says, I know a photographer.
Beautiful feet for a runner. And I keep telling him, babe, you're separated in less than a year. We need the money. We're trying
You should sell his socks. Like get him all nice and stinky and everything, like sweaty and whatnot, and like sell his socks on OnlyFans.
It's disgusting how beautiful his feet are for a runner. I was like, hella acres in Montana.
So when I was in, I posted a picture of my neck, and it's a beautiful neck, you know? I posted a picture of my neck on my Instagram as a joke, and I was like, look at my Adam's apple, I'm a dude. And I had so many people coming at me and were like, can you please take more pictures of your neck from the side? Like it was really, really uncomfortable. And I was like, no, I won't. And these people were like, I'm going to block you then. So that was a fetish I was unaware of, but it became very apparent to me very, very quickly. And I wonder if selling something like that would be deemed bad because, I don't know, I rode the gray line very, very well when I was in. What was that?
So long as it's not in a sexual manner.
Yeah, I mean, it's a picture of your neck or your feet. Like, I don't know what you do with those.
That's it. So long as it's not in a sexual manner.
So I will say this. So when I was in,
I don't know how I feel about that, Ryan.
I'll check it out. I have a weird thing with holding people's feet when I'm drunk. I just want to hold them like a hand. But dear service members, there's no such thing as being off the clock. The government owns you 24/7 until you have a DD-214. Hey, you know what? They kind of own you a little bit even after that because if you... Is it a bad website? She's looking up the website smellmyfeet.com. I'm going to have to look this up later.
I'm incognito.
Oh, you're incognito. Yeah, keep it incognito, Yahuwah.
You know what you had to say about that?
You Pokemon. You Pikachu. But I had a girl that I worked with who I don't know why she thought this was okay. Now, a lot of you guys know I used to work at a nightclub. When I was in service, I moonlighted at a nightclub, and I was a shot girl because you cannot be nude while you are in the military. You cannot be a stripper, but you can work at a nightclub.
They're sketchy.
Huh?
I said shot girls are sketchy.
I was a good shot girl. I was on my game. Anyways, so I worked with a girl.
And somebody was like, I don't have any cash. Did you force a shot in their mouth anyways?
No, I'd be like, there's an ATM over there.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you can get out. But I worked with this young girl, and I was an E5 at the time when she got there, and she was like, hey, I was a stripper back home. I want to dance again while I'm in. I was like, well, you can't. I was like, you cannot be a stripper. You can be a go-go dancer. You could do go-go dancing.
Go-go dancer?
You're not allowed to?
No, I was asked to be, and I went to my command about it, and they were like, no.
I think I think they're wrong on that one. But that's beside the point. I think you could have, because you're not taking your clothes off. And it's not sexual, it's just dancing.
No, it wasn't sexual, but that was also back in 2007.
Don't age yourself.
Like,
okay.
2007, 2008?
Yeah. This girl did not heed my words. And she decided to be a stripper. And I was like, listen, I don't care how you make your money. I was like, you do you, boo-boo. Don't do it in this state. I was like, don't do it where someone will find you. And she didn't heed my words. And she got caught. And she got in a lot of trouble for it. Yeah. And everyone at my command was like, you were her mentor. Why didn't you tell her? And I was like, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink. I was like, I could give her suggestions. I told her, I was like, go to Savannah. Don't stay here in Jacksonville. You go to the strip clubs in Jacksonville. All the military guys go to the strip clubs in Jacksonville.
Hold up. Jacksonville?
Go somewhere far away.
Jacksonville?
Florida.
Florida? No! You know Florida's my home, right?
I do. You were in Pensacola. Oh, I mean, I was in Pensacola for a little bit.
Beach.
Yeah, that was where I worked at I did work at a strip club there as a shot girl for a little bit.
Oh lordy. Yep,
I was hey, listen, that's why this is called Liberty Risk. Because we were Liberty Risks.
Oh lordy.
But I told this girl, I was like, don't do it here. I mean, this girl was like pretty dumb because she also married a guy before, like right after she joined the military so she could get BAH, and then was dating a guy who was her supervisor and living with her supervisor, dating him, and he was married. So both of them were married, dating each other, and living together. And her husband showed up and then went to the command and was like, my wife is cheating on me with this guy.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
It's like fraternization.
I love how this conversation went from like sexual assault to questionable relationships.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is like, now I will say this. I finished my bottle, one. But also, just because somebody has an OnlyFans or they are doing moonlighting something, which it's not uncommon, that does not mean that they are open to sexual advances within the workplace.
Exactly.
That is fraternization. That is looked down upon. They are a human being, and they are also a soldier, sailor, Marine,
or even a civilian.
Whatever.
I will tell y'all right now,
yeah,
one of my best friends who is actually in my fucking wedding party, she has an OnlyFans. And I respect her more as a human being than most people in my life because of how much she stands up against sexual harassment.
That's awesome.
Yes. And the folk that are like, hey, just because you show your hoo-haws and tatas online means that harassment is warranted. She's like, oh no, boo, you're going to do this to me? I'm going to charge you for it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And she makes a lot of her money from harassment. She's like, oh no, screw you. And it's automatically charged because they signed up for her OnlyFans.
Oh, shit. So she can be like, oh, you already paid the, I don't know what the subscription fees are, like $10 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, oh, here's a $50 charge to your card for being a dick.
For a dick pic, she's like, oh no, no, $15, $20, whatever. She charges.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. And then she blocks him.
I've had people tell me, they're like, you should have an OnlyFans, but it'll be like videos of you insulting people or something. And I'm like, I could do that. I could do one where it's just like, you're an ugly piece of shit.
Did you see the recent, so it just went viral a couple of days ago, this fella, excuse me,
That's so hot. I would pay to listen to you cough all day.
Thank you. Not even lying. I totally would have called out of work if I wasn't afraid of getting in trouble by my commander. But anyhow, so a couple of days ago, I read about this fella who legit has an OnlyFans of sleeping, and folk pay for a time slot. And broski, that's relevant, actually. And in that time slot, he puts into a sound box a noise to wake him up. And he makes...
I think I sent you this. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just like people disturbing him in his sleep.
Yes. He doesn't have a job. That's how he gets paid. Yeah.
I don't know how I would feel about having people watch me sleep, but like that sounds fucking hilarious.
Actually, I have something for that too. Hold on.
I just found my sleeping aid today as I was cleaning my apartment. Yo, I have this like concoction stuff here that I used to use to help me sleep, and it puts me out. Like it knocks me on my ass. That's another topic. This thing, Get Sleepy, relaxation and sleep support with medicinal mushrooms. Yeah, and I got this at a grocery store. So another thing that comes with all this mental health stuff that we talked about is your sleep. Sleep is very important. And if you have bad mental health, you're not going to sleep super well. And I realized recently I have not been sleeping super well because I keep waking up with scratch marks on my body. Apparently, because I'm moving and I'm doing this whole, it's a huge process right now of me moving. Because of this, I have been digging my nails into my hands and chest while I'm sleeping because I'm so stressed out. And that's one of the big things that occurs with people is stress in the military is so bad that it affects you in different ways. For me, it's my sleep. And apparently I turn into a fucking vampire and just claw myself while I'm sleeping. But
vampire, dear, that would be more like werewolf or something.
Okay. Oh, apparently I'm a werewolf. I'm not as hairy as a werewolf. Just up here.
I'll ask someone I know.
But yeah, if you are having difficulty with sleeping or night terrors or nightmares, if you are like waking up and you are like super sweaty for some reason, go to your mental health counselor, specialist person like Jeannie and get yourself a sleep study, or just be like, hey, I think I'm having some weird ass dreams and I wake up really sweaty or like having heart palpitations and like panicking when I wake up, because that's probably caused either from PTSD or stress.
Yeah. So pro tip, #life hacks. If you and so also I forget the word for it, but so I'm not being sponsored by this either, but if you happen to have an American Express card, they are, let me look it up real quick. I don't have to look it up. So for the next year, Calm, the app Calm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to listen to them to fall asleep. Now I listen to like massage music.
So if you have American Express, Calm is giving you a subscription for free for 1 year. 1 year. Oh, Billy's like, I use that app every night. It is
a really good app.
Good. And seriously, guys, it's only $60 a year. Billy says it's fucking life-changing, and he is serious about that. I support that. Is a mental health technician, 16 and a half years now. Oh my God, fucking spot on. $60 a year worth every fucking dollar. American Express, your first year is free. Do it now. Do it now. He says it helps me meditate and helps me fall asleep and reach REM sleep. So for those that don't know, REM, is your rapid eye movement. REM, rapid eye movement. That's where your dream happens. So I'm going to get mental healthy real quick here. So,
I'm ready.
So when your dreams are happening, that is literally when your mind is compiling everything that has happened throughout the day. And it's filing it into your hippocampus. And your hippocampus isn't right here in this part of the brain, right here. This right here, the hippocampus part of the brain. That controls your emotional reaction to events. This is also where where trauma is stored. So like your emotional reaction to trauma and whatnot, but it files things and it helps you process. So like, let's say for example, you have like a dream about drowning. You might be incredibly stressed with work because you have so many tasks and responsibilities going on that you might be overwhelmed. So that's all being filed in your hippocampus. But the Calm app will help you be able to deal with all of those things because your body helps to process and calm and relax things at night and prepare yourself for the next day. So I highly encourage you to download that app, whether you have MX or not, because it's fucking incredible.
Yeah, that app, it is free. You don't have to do the subscription, and they offer a bunch of things. I know LeBron James is on there, and he does a meditation series. The little boy that I used to nanny for, he would get super anxious and worked up, and I would tell him, I'd be like, okay, we're going to do meditation time. And we would lay on the floor together and listen to LeBron James talk to us. He has a very sultry voice. So we would lay on the floor and just be like,
thank you, Billy.
Okay, calm. Yeah, so they have all those different options for you. It's really a good app. I used to use it to fall asleep, and then I guess I just got really, really stressed out or something because I couldn't fall asleep anymore. But it is a really good app. I like listening to it when I'm kind of stressed out.
Oh, it's so amazing. So,
and then I use my medicinal mushrooms.
So there's breathing exercises. There is guided meditation. There are celebrities, like Meg said, that will read you stories, will do guided meditation with you. There are other relaxation techniques. There's so many things in there that will help you to just deal and process and cope. And like, so there's a free version that offers like the minimal amount, and then the $65 a year, which seriously, it is worth every dollar. Worth every dollar. It's only $65. And actually, tell you what, right now, if you find me on Facebook right now, the first person to message me, Jeannie Hackett, you'll find me with a little beanie on. You can't miss me because I'm like, in my profile picture. You message me first, I will pay for your first year. Right now, I will pay for your first year for the Calm app.
Aw, that's so nice of you, Jeannie. I would say the same, but I'm broke.
Not you. So I actually, remember how I talked about my car wreck earlier? I actually got my settlement about a month ago-ish.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I actually just paid off one of my best girlfriend's car, literally right before I joined this
Wow, that's awesome.
podcast tonight. So I've also done some other things. So I paid off her truck. I've done some other things. And the first person to message me, and I will wait for it, I will pay for your first year of calm.
And Jeannie is good on her word when it comes to stuff like that. I'm so excited for that. That sounds so cool. When I went and I visited, they had a major snowstorm in Colorado the last time I was there. And we did a charity event for another veteran to get a service dog. And we were like, hey, if we get, I don't even know how much money it was. We were like, if we get this much money, we will go outside in our bikinis and make snow angels. And we did it twice. And it was, negative 11 degrees or something? Or 11?
It was negative 19.
Oh, was it really? We went outside in our bathing suits in negative 19 degrees and did snow angels for charity so a veteran could get a service dog.
Okay, so he will never see this podcast. So I'm going to tell you right now, our goal was 10,500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've been doing this for 3.5 weeks, and we had a month to hit this goal. Do you want to hear where we're at?
Yes.
He'll never see this podcast. Never. 10,783.
That's awesome. And how much more time do you guys have?
Auction items? We're not even done with the auction items, and we still have 5 more auction items to post.
I bought one of those auction items too. I bought spurs for my Crocs.
Crocs with
my gosh, that's so exciting. Yeah, I'm super. When spring comes around, watch out. I'll be yee-yeeing it up with my Crocs and spurs.
Okay, so I'm actually.
Oh yeah, what did Hugh win?
Glad that
so Hugh won something as well.
I was really hoping you would bring that up because I was hoping to do like a not so shameless shout out about it. So, for the viewers that are watching, because I have no idea how many people are watching, on Facebook, if you could go to Military Chive Nation, click on the GoFundMe, donate what you can. We have a veteran that lives out in Monument, Colorado. He retired after 20 years in the Army. After retirement, at the age of 50, he volunteered to come back, served again from 53 to 56.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that is when he received I can't say received, that's really bad wording. He experienced all of the trauma that he went through. Mm-hmm. He now suffers significantly from PTSD.
That's it.
Seizures.
Pause for a vet.
Thank you so much. Pause for a vet. He has significant seizures, very, very horrible PTSD. His most recent service dog, unfortunately passed away from old age.
Aww.
Yeah, he has a new service animal, Nika, who is a 15-month-old, just angel, that we're trying to get trained. Our goal was 10,500. Like I just mentioned, we just reached 10,700. However, that's just for the training. There's still so much more that he will need for her, such as vests, colors, food, vaccinations, any sort of other medical treatment that she might need. So if there's anything that anyone else can do for that, we would very, very much appreciate it. I mean, we've worked so hard for it. I mean, just like anything y'all can do, it would mean the world to us. It would mean more than the world for Jake, especially because he's a 20-year veteran that retired and then came back from retirement, went through numerous traumatic experiences after his retirement to still continue to serve for our country.
there's the GoFundMe for us. So the GoFundMe is at $10,783. That's incredible. And it's not even done yet.
No, it's not. But so thank you so much to everyone that has donated to Chive Nation, to Military Chive Nation, Chive Pets. That is our co-host for this event. They're absolutely amazing. And I know Liberty Risk has done a shout out for us quite a few times over the last few weeks. So thank you guys so much for that as well. You've been amazing to us.
Yeah, and thank you for coming on the show, Jeannie. I love having you on. So you give me alcohol and you give me food, and then you pick me up when I'm throwing up in the toilet. So
that's the best.
I appreciate it,
counselor.
But yeah. But thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. For everyone who is watching, please make sure that if you need somebody to talk to, if you need help, if you're having a mental health crisis, or you just want somebody to talk to, there's the Veterans Crisis Line, 1-800-273-8255, and then you press 1. If you are not in as dire of a situation, but you still need somebody to talk to, you can always message us. We're always here to talk to you. Jeannie can talk to you as Jeannie will talk to you as well. She is a admin for Military Chive Nation, and the Chive is a great organization as well. They do a lot of work with the veterans. But you are not alone. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health, and we're always here for you if you need us. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.